What is going on, guys? MMA Island team, we got the fight picks, and Alexander Romanov is back. That's how I'm starting this one off. And I guess you could say Marcos Rogerio de Lima is back because we were supposed to see Alexander Romanov get his UFC debut against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I think this was booked 2 times,
Yes.
and then COVID the first time for Romanov, and then COVID the second time for de Lima. Time of the year, time of the life, time of Earth, whatever you want to call it. COVID is here, and COVID is messing up our fights, but hopefully it doesn't mess up this one because we get it, and it's Alexander Romanov against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Am I going first?
No.
I'm not going first. Okay. Well, I will save my talk for after Zach goes first.
Thank you. So this fight is going to be a lot of fun because it has a heavyweight prospect that I rate pretty highly. Now, he's not the number one heavyweight prospect because if there's a world with Cyril Gane in it, he is going to be the best fighter in heavyweight division. So anyways, I'll stop. But I'm sorry, I was thinking about Cyril Gane. Alexander Romanov, absolutely dominating performance in his first fight against Roque Martinez. And dominating, I think, is a little bit generous. Like, he did a lot worse to Roque Martinez. I don't think Martinez had a minute of success in that fight. Romanov picked him up, slammed him down, and just had his way on the ground. It was kind of incredible to watch. This big man with such, agility and his takedown ability, it was crazy. Now, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, this is a classic striker versus grappler showdown. Marcos Rogerio de Lima is going to go up to you, and he's going to try and knock you out. That's his game plan. It always has been, and I believe that he also used to be a light heavyweight, so he's also a very small heavyweight, which is something to take into consideration because Alexander Romanov is massive. He is huge, and if you give up any size against this man, he is going to pick you up and throw you down like nothing. You saw Roque Martinez. This was a full 265-pound heavyweight full of flab, and he picked him up and hurled him down with ease. Marcos Rogerio de Lima is not going to be weighing in at 265 pounds. He is a small heavyweight, and that is bad news because Romanov is just going to toss him around the cage. I think Romanov is serviceable on the feet enough to not get caught by Marcos Rogerio de Lima's punches. And also, the competition that Rogerio de Lima has beat is not the highest. I mean, he's coming off a win over Ben Sassoli. Hope you're doing good in prison over there, Ben. Hope you stay strong and get out soon. And his wins, Clint Hester, Jeremy Kimball, Adam Wiczorek, while losing to all the good fighters he's fought, Nikita Krylov, Gajimrad Antigulov, Ovin St. Preux, and Stefan Struve. He is not proven to be a top tier or even mid tier or even mid to low tier heavyweight because he's knocking out the people at the absolute bottom of the barrel, in my opinion. Now, he has good power. He has good striking technique, but he has nowhere close to what he needs in the ground department in order to defend what Alexander Romanov is going to do with him. I think this is my second most confident pick on the card. I'm going Alexander Romanov, early submission.
I was going to find some sort of way, because I love doing this. You guys know this. I was going to find some sort of way to try to have my intro kind of lead towards Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I can't do it, man. I picked Romanov the first time that this got booked. I picked Romanov the second time it got booked. Am I changing my pick? I am not. And how could I, after we finally get to see Romanov fight, and he takes Roque Martinez, who I assume fought at super heavyweight at some point throughout his MMA career, and just hurled him over, as you mentioned. And before we got recording, we were talking about how much I talk about how I love my ground game, and I love my ground game. And I love seeing Romanov go out here. I think one thing that I found the most awesome was the two-handed slams that he was doing in that fight. You remember that? That was hilarious. Boom, boom. Looked like King Kong, man. He's out here. Oh, it was awesome to watch. Awesome to watch. I don't know why. I think this might be because the Juan Espino fight in
Juan Espino. El Guapo. Please. I hate that he's 40. He needs to be younger.
That would be a great fight.
Great fight. I agree.
But also, was Am I only thinking it because of that? Did Romanov have him in a scarf hold at one point?
No, I don't believe
I don't know
so.
why. Maybe it's because it ended in an arm triangle choke and something like that. But
He was
for
just in mount like the entire fight.
yeah, slamming his hands down. So the point is that he was dominating the fight, completely dominating the fight. And we've seen, at least from what I remember when my research on Roque Martinez, is that he's decent on the ground. Having that big frame, I guess not really frame, it's just like body, I guess. Uh, I kind of expected a little bit more of a fight out of him, even though the fight came in on short notice. But yeah, as we mentioned, Alexander Romanov kind of dominated, and I'm kind of shocked, to be honest, that De Lima still wants to take the fight, because we've seen De Lima get beat by guys who, in my opinion, are probably worse on the ground.
Yep.
I'm not going to say Stefan Struve or Ovince St. Preux. Both of those guys are pretty good on the ground, especially with Stefan Struve with the arm triangle and Ovince St. Preux with the shoulder choke. But at the same time, Gadjimrat Antigulov, as much as I picked him in his last two fights, I picked him against Paul Craig. I picked him against Maxime Grishin. Why I picked him for those two fights, I have no idea. But I picked him. Moiruski Brat, maybe. Yeah, just picking
Grecian
it.
is Russian too, so you can't use that excuse.
Hey, maybe, but yeah. So picking him against I don't really know why I did that. And then you're looking at Antigulov's not last submission win, but the second last submission win, earlier than his most recent one. Also, was against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. So I don't know, man. I just think that there's looking at the guys who Rogerio de Lima clearly has has 4 of his 6 losses come via submission, and I think that's a really likely scenario. I think that's a really good parlay piece.
Oh yeah,
Because
parlay piece, absolutely.
maybe people don't know about Romanov, and people are like, "Oh, who is this guy? He's going to get defeated by the guy who knocked out the combat wombat." Um,
No, Romanov's a pretty like sizable favorite. I think he's like minus 300. People know who he is.
Probably. But hey, that's a pretty good parlay piece because I think that's a really good, really likely scenario for Romanov to just take him down and submit him. And another thing, man, is that Rogerio de Lima in the heavyweight division has a 36% takedown defense stat. So that's really low for the heavyweight division, especially. I think that if you're because the reason is for the takedown, that's the reason it's bad for the heavyweight division is because when you're fighting guys in the heavyweight division, typically the takedowns are a little bit more, how do I word this? Predictable, I guess. They're a little bit slower. Whereas when you're in the bantamweight divisions, the featherweight divisions, flyweight divisions, you're seeing those takedowns and you're not seeing it until it typically happens. So it typically comes down to strength. And if you're talking about strength and takedown ability and all that, Romanov's got the advantage in those areas.
Yeah.
That's how I see it happening. I see him taking him down and kind of just slamming them and submitting them, probably in the first round. So pretty high confidence as well. I'm not going to say it's my lock, but I got Romanov on this one. And I assume most of you guys do. But hey, if you guys got De Lima, make sure you guys are letting us know in the comments. You're going to look really smart. If you say, oh, De Lima's going to knock him out in the first round, bam, it happens. And hey, I'll come back and be like, hey, shout out to you. Yeah, point is, man, make sure you guys are just letting us know who you guys got in this one. We're both going with Romanov on this one. I think a lot of you guys are as well, as I already mentioned. But make sure you guys are liking the video, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you guys check out the other Fight Pick videos.